The wedding hall fell quiet. The twins were crying non-stop. The millionaire didn't know what to do. The bride made an angry face. Then a black server stepped forward. "Can I help?" she asked. The bride said no. She went anyway. What she did next, no one expected. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Alexandra's voice cut through the string quartet's melody. Heads turned toward the front row of the grand ballroom at Chicago's Palmer House Hotel. Her white teeth flashed behind a tight smile meant only for the guests to see. The one-year-old twins, Isabella and Alexander, continued crying in their matching cream and gold outfits. Their nanny looked panicked, bouncing them gently while trying to offer bottles, toys, and pacifiers. Nothing worked. Justin Wellington stood at the altar, sweat forming under his expensive Italian suit. He checked his Rolex for the 5th time. The ceremony had barely started, and everything was already falling apart. "But Miss Richardson, they're yours," the nanny started. "I don't care. Remove them now." Alexandra hissed loud enough for the front 3 rows to hear. The minister paused, uncertain whether to continue. 250 guests shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Ice sculptures of roses began slowly melting beside arrangements of rare peonies that had cost more than most people's cars. Justin looked from his crying children to his beautiful bride. Alexandra Richardson stood like a vision in her custom Vera Wang gown that had required 8 fittings. Her platinum blonde hair was perfectly arranged in an elaborate updo, her makeup flawless. She had deliberately arrived 30 minutes late for dramatic effect. Now her blue eyes burned with anger as the babies continued crying. From the back of the ballroom, Bonnie Washington watched while arranging champagne flutes for the toast that would follow the ceremony. At 24 years old, she worked these events to pay for her graduate classes in child psychology at Northwestern University. Her supervisor had already warned her twice about watching the guests instead of focusing on her work. "Poor babies," she whispered to herself. "They're overwhelmed." The nanny stood, struggling with both crying infants. The twins' wails grew louder as they sensed the tension. Several guests began whispering. Alexandra's smile disappeared completely. Justin stepped down from the altar. "Let me help," he offered, reaching for one of his children. "No." Alexandra grabbed his arm. "Your suit will get wrinkled. Just make her take them outside until this is over." Justin froze, suddenly unsure. The $3 million wedding continued falling apart as the babies cried louder. Bonnie set down the tray of champagne glasses. Her supervisor shot her a warning look, but she walked forward anyway. She had seen Alexandra snap at hotel staff 3 times already that morning, but these babies needed help. "Sir," she said quietly, approaching Justin, "I might be able to help with the babies if you'd allow me." Alexandra's eyes narrowed. "We don't need help from the catering staff right now." Justin ignored her comment, looking at Bonnie with desperate hope. "Can you really help?" "I believe so," Bonnie nodded. "Fine," Justin said. "Please try." Alexandra's mouth opened in shock as Justin gestured for the nanny to let Bonnie take over. The young woman stepped forward without hesitation. "May I?" she asked the overwhelmed nanny, who immediately handed both crying babies to her. With practiced movements, Bonnie cradled both twins against her chest. She looked around and spotted a silk table runner on an empty decoration table. "Could you hand me that, please?" she asked a nearby waiter. Using the silk fabric, she created a simple baby wrap, securing both twins against her chest. Then she began swaying gently from side to side. "Could the quartet play something with a steady rhythm?" she asked quietly. "Something that matches a heartbeat?" The musicians, glad for direction, began a gentle rhythmic piece. Bonnie exaggerated her own calm breathing, matching her movements to the music. The entire room watched in amazement as within minutes both Isabella and Alexander quieted down. Their tiny eyelids grew heavy, their bodies relaxing against Bonnie's chest. "How did you do that?" Justin whispered, staring at his now peaceful children. Instead of showing relief, Alexandra stepped forward, her face flushed with anger. "How dare you touch my children without permission?" she said loudly. "You're just the help." "Know your place." The room fell completely silent. The string quartet stopped playing. Justin's best friend, Dr. Marcus Chen, stood up from the front row. "Actually," he said calmly, "what she did was textbook infant soothing. She's quite skilled." Justin looked from his sleeping children to Alexandra's angry face. Something shifted in his expression. "Have they ever calmed down this quickly for you, Alexandra?" he asked quietly. The question hung in the air. Alexandra's eyes widened, then narrowed. "What are you implying?" she demanded. "It's a simple question," Justin continued, his voice gaining strength. "In the past year, have Isabella and Alexander ever fallen asleep this easily when you held them?" Alexandra laughed nervously, glancing at the guests. "We have a full-time nanny for a reason, Justin. I'm not going to ruin my designer clothes with baby drool." More whispers spread through the crowd. Justin stared at Alexandra as if seeing her clearly for the first time. "May I speak with you privately for a moment?" he asked, his voice tight. "Now?" "We're in the middle of our wedding," Alexandra protested. "Yes, now." Justin took her elbow gently but firmly, leading her toward a side door. The guests sat in uncomfortable silence for 7 minutes. Bonnie continued swaying gently, the twins sleeping peacefully against her. She avoided eye contact with anyone, focusing only on the babies. When Justin and Alexandra returned, her face was white with fury. His was calm but determined. He walked directly to the minister. "I'm sorry, but there will be no wedding today." Gasps erupted throughout the ballroom. Alexandra stormed toward the exit. "You'll regret this, Justin," she shouted over her shoulder. "I'll make sure everyone knows what you did. My lawyers will destroy you." After she left, Justin turned to the shocked guests. "I apologize for bringing you all here today. Please enjoy the reception food and drinks. I need to take care of my children now." He walked to where Bonnie stood with the sleeping twins. "Thank you," he said simply. "Would you mind helping me get them home?" Bonnie nodded, suddenly aware of every eye in the room watching them. "Of course, Mr. Wellington." As they walked toward the exit, Dr. Chen joined them. "You made the right choice, Justin," he said quietly. "I've been worried about her attitude toward the twins for months." "I should have seen it sooner," Justin replied, looking at his children. "I've been blind to so many things." Outside, Justin's driver opened the door of a black SUV. Bonnie carefully transferred the sleeping twins to their car seats, showing Justin how to secure them without waking them. "Do you have experience with twins?" Justin asked as they finished. "My cousin has twins," Bonnie explained. "I help when I can." Justin handed her a business card. "Would you consider a temporary position helping with Isabella and Alexander? Our nanny just quit, and you clearly have a gift with children." Bonnie stared at the card, thinking about her college tuition bills and the warning her supervisor had given her for leaving her post. "I'll call you tomorrow," Justin said, sensing her hesitation. "Please think about it." As the SUV pulled away, Bonnie stood on the sidewalk, still wearing her hotel uniform, holding Justin Wellington's business card. Behind her, 250 wedding guests gossiped about the dramatic scene they had witnessed. She had no idea how completely her life was about to change. Bonnie stared at Justin Wellington's business card as the black SUV disappeared into Chicago traffic. Her supervisor was already walking toward her, face tight with anger. "Washington, what do you think you're doing? You abandoned your post during an active event." "I'm sorry, Mr. Peterson. The babies were not your concern," he cut her off. "Report to HR tomorrow morning before your shift. You're being reassigned to laundry service." Bonnie's shoulders slumped as she walked back inside. The Palmer House's magnificent ballroom was now half empty. Guests picking at expensive food while whispering about the wedding that never happened. The next morning, Justin woke in his Lincoln Park mansion to the sound of his phone buzzing continuously. He had 31 missed calls, 127 text messages, and hundreds of notifications. He groaned, reaching for the device. His assistant's name flashed on screen. "Mr. Wellington, please call me as soon as you wake up. It's urgent." Justin sat up immediately, checking the twins' baby monitor. They were still asleep in their nursery, but it was only 6:30 in the morning. He dialed his assistant. "Lisa, what's happening?" "Sir, have you seen social media this morning? Miss Richardson has been posting since midnight." Justin quickly opened the apps on his phone and felt his stomach drop. Alexandra had shared tearful selfies with her 4 million followers. Her caption read, "Abandoned at the altar after giving this man the best years of my life and loving his beautiful children like my own. Money really does change people." Comments flooded her posts. "Stay strong, Queen. He doesn't deserve you. What kind of man does this?" The phone buzzed with an incoming call from his biggest business partner. "Justin, it's Michael Carter." "What the hell is happening?" "My wife follows Alexandra, and now I've got board members asking questions about your stability." "Michael, it's not what it looks like. Save it. We need to meet today. Our downtown development contract is now on hold." Before Justin could respond, Michael hung up. 3 more business calls came in rapid succession. From the nursery, crying erupted through the monitor. Justin rushed to the twins' room, finding both Isabella and Alexander awake and upset. He awkwardly picked up Isabella, trying to remember how Bonnie had held them. "It's okay. It's okay," he said, bouncing her gently. Isabella cried louder. Alexander, still in his crib, joined in at full volume. The nanny rushed in, looking flustered. "Mr. Wellington, I need to speak with you." "Can it wait, Miss Peterson?" "They're really upset." She took Isabella from him, efficiently checking her diaper. "That's part of what I need to discuss. I'm giving my notice." "What? Now?" "I'm sorry, but I can't afford to be associated with this situation. Miss Richardson knows everyone in the childcare community. She's already posted that she was betrayed by staff. I need another position." Justin ran his hand through his hair. "I'll double your salary." "It's not about money, sir. I have a professional reputation." She handed Isabella back to him. "I'll stay until noon to help you arrange something." By 10:30 that morning, Justin had canceled 3 meetings and was trying to change Alexander's diaper while on the phone with his lawyer. "She's calling me controlling and abusive now," he said, struggling with the adhesive tabs. "How is that even legal?" "It's not libel if she phrases it as her feelings," his lawyer explained. "She says she felt controlled and feared for her freedom." Carefully worded. Justin finally secured the diaper and lifted Alexander, who immediately spit up on his shirt. "Hold on," Justin said, putting the phone down. He reached for a towel, noticing Isabella felt unusually warm in her bouncy seat. When he touched her forehead, it was definitely hot. Panic shot through him. "I need to call you back," he told the lawyer, hanging up. Justin picked up Isabella, who felt limp and warm. Her cheeks were flushed red. "Miss Peterson," he called out, his voice tight with fear. "Something's wrong with Isabella." The nanny rushed in, felt Isabella's forehead, and calmly reached for the baby thermometer. "She has a fever, 101.5 degrees. That's concerning. We need to call the doctor. Do you have infant medicine?" James stared blankly. "I don't know." The nanny sighed. "I'll check the cabinets. Meanwhile, please call someone who can replace me. I have another interview at 2 o'clock. Justin bounced Isabella gently, while Alexander began crying again from the floor mat. He felt completely overwhelmed. His phone rang again, his assistant. "Not now, Lisa." "Sir, I'm calling about the childcare situation." Dr. Chen suggested someone. Justin exhaled. "Marcus called you?" "Yes, sir. He thought you might need help. Should I contact that hotel employee from yesterday? The one who helped with the twins?" Justin looked at Isabella's flushed face, then at Alexander, screaming on the floor. Yes, find her. Offer whatever it takes. Bonnie folded another stack of hotel sheets in the basement laundry room. Her demotion had been immediate. The supervisor had made it clear, "You're lucky to still have a job at all." Her phone vibrated in her pocket. An unknown number. She normally wouldn't answer during work, but the laundry supervisor was on break. "Hello, is this Bonnie Washington?" a professional female voice asked. "Yes, it is. This is Lisa Montgomery, executive assistant to Justin Wellington. Mr. Wellington would like to offer you a temporary position caring for his children." Bonnie almost dropped the phone. "I'm not sure that's a good idea. The position pays $75 per hour with a minimum guarantee of 40 hours weekly. Private room in his home included if desired." Bonnie's hand tightened on the phone. That was more than triple her hotel salary. "Mr. Wellington is in an urgent situation. One of the twins has developed a fever and his nanny has resigned." Bonnie thought of her upcoming tuition bill, her student loans, her mother's medical expenses. "May I think about it?" "Of course. Mr. Wellington requested I mention that he would appreciate even a 2-week commitment while he arranges permanent childcare." After her shift, Bonnie called her mother. "Mom, I got a job offer. It pays really well, but I'm not sure." "Tell me everything," her mother said. Bonnie explained about the wedding, the twins, and the job offer. Her mother was silent for a moment. "Baby, that man is going through something big, and those babies need someone who knows what they're doing. But famous rich people have complicated lives." "It's just for 2 weeks," Bonnie said, "and I need the money for next semester." "Then you already decided," her mother said gently. "Just be careful. Don't get too attached to those babies." 3 hours later, Bonnie stood in the lobby of an exclusive Lincoln Park mansion. The housekeeper escorted her through marble hallways to find Justin Wellington. The space was stunning, all dark wood, crystal, and expensive art. But Bonnie immediately noticed how cold it felt. There were no soft surfaces, no warm colors. Everything looked like a museum, not a home. Justin Wellington appeared, looking nothing like the confident groom from yesterday. His hair was messy, his expensive shirt stained with what looked like baby food and something else Bonnie didn't want to identify. "Thank you for coming," he said, his voice revealing exhaustion. "Isabella's fever is down, but they haven't stopped crying since the nanny left." As if on cue, wailing echoed from another room. "May I?" Bonnie gestured toward the sound. Justin led her to an elaborate nursery with hand-painted murals and custom furniture. It was beautiful, but completely impractical. The changing table had no supplies within reach. The cribs were positioned under air vents. Toys were arranged for display rather than play. Both twins were crying in their cribs. Bonnie went straight to Isabella, feeling her forehead. "She's still warm, but not dangerous," Bonnie said. "Where's your baby medicine?" "The nanny left some on the kitchen counter," Justin said. "And where do you keep their comfort items?" "Special blankets or toys they sleep with?" Justin looked blank. "I'm not sure." "The nanny handled all that." Bonnie lifted Isabella gently while looking around the room. "What about their daily schedule? Feeding times, naps?" "There's a binder somewhere." Justin ran his hand through his hair again. Bonnie took a deep breath, already making mental notes about the changes needed. "Mr. Wellington, I'll help for 2 weeks, but we need to create proper systems so you can care for them with or without help." "Thank you," Justin said, the relief evident in his voice. "And please call me Justin." Bonnie nodded, already rearranging the changing table with one hand while holding Isabella. "The first thing we need to do is make this beautiful nursery actually work for babies," she said, picking up a decorative crystal swan from the shelf above the changing table. "This is lovely, but everything in a baby's room should be functional or meaningful, not dangerous." Justin watched as Bonnie confidently reorganized the space. Isabella was already quieting in her arms. Alexander had stopped crying too, watching the new person with curious eyes. For the first time since the wedding disaster, Justin felt a small sense of hope. Bonnie worked efficiently around the nursery. In just 30 minutes, she had completely reorganized the changing station, moved the cribs away from the air vents, and placed essential baby items within easy reach. "This will work for tonight," Bonnie said, gently placing Isabella back in her crib. "Tomorrow, I'll need to get some supplies." "Order whatever you need," Justin offered. "Money isn't a problem." Bonnie nodded. Babies need consistency, regular meals, regular naps, regular routines. It helps them feel safe. "I never thought about that," Justin admitted. "The nanny handled everything." "Well, now you're going to learn," Bonnie said with gentle firmness. "I'll stay for 2 weeks, but you need to be involved." That night, after the twins finally fell asleep, Bonnie created a simple schedule on her tablet. She sent Justin a calendar invitation for 7:30 the next morning. "What's this?" he asked, checking his phone. "Breakfast with your children?" "Exactly," Bonnie replied. Justin's alarm went off at 7:15. He almost hit snooze, then remembered Bonnie's calendar invitation. Dragging himself out of bed, he put on a robe and found Bonnie already in the kitchen. She wore simple jeans and a Northwestern sweatshirt, her natural hair pulled back in a headband. "Good morning," she said. "The twins are still sleeping?" "I need to talk to you about your home." Justin poured himself coffee. "What about it?" "It's beautiful," Bonnie said diplomatically, "but not functional for children. No high chairs, no safe play areas, no practical storage. Just tell me what to order." "Money isn't a problem." Bonnie shook her head. "It's not about buying things. It's about creating spaces that work for daily life with babies." Before Justin could respond, his phone rang. "I need to take this," he said, walking toward his office. 20 minutes later, he emerged to find Bonnie sitting on the floor of the living room with both twins, who were happily playing with wooden spoons and plastic measuring cups. "Sorry," he said. "Work emergency. I thought we might see you at breakfast," Bonnie said, her voice neutral. Isabella ate well, but Alexander was fussy. Justin looked at his watch. "I have a meeting downtown in an hour." "You have babies right here, right now," Bonnie replied. 5 minutes with them would mean everything." Justin hesitated, then sat awkwardly on the floor. Isabella immediately crawled toward him, offering a wooden spoon. He took it, unsure what to do. "Just talk to her," Bonnie suggested. "She wants to share with you." "Thank you, Isabella," Justin said formally, feeling ridiculous. Isabella babbled happily in response. Justin felt something shift inside him as her tiny hand touched his. "I really do need to go," he said after a few minutes. "Major client threatening to pull out because of everything." Bonnie nodded. "We'll be here when you get back." "But first, may I have permission to rearrange some furniture?" "The living room would make a great play area with a few changes." "Do whatever you think is best," Justin said, already mentally in his meeting. When Justin returned that evening, he stopped in the doorway, stunned. His formal living room had been transformed. The glass coffee table was gone. The white leather sofa had been pushed against the wall. A large, soft rug now covered the center of the room. His expensive art books were replaced by sturdy baby books on the lower shelves. "What happened here?" he asked. Bonnie looked up from where she sat on the floor with the twins. "I created a functional family space. The glass table is in storage, too dangerous for new walkers. The white sofa was impossible for babies. Your housekeeper, Rosa, helped me." Justin looked around, taking in the changes. "Where did the rug come from?" "It was in your guest room," Rosa said, appearing with fresh towels. "No one ever uses that room." Before Justin could respond, Alexander pulled himself up on a chair and took an unsteady step toward him. "He's walking," Justin exclaimed. "He's been trying all afternoon," Bonnie said. "He wants to show you." Justin knelt down, holding out his hands. Alexander took 3 wobbly steps before falling into his father's arms. Justin felt an unexpected surge of emotion. "Good job, buddy," he whispered. Bonnie smiled. "That's the first time he's walked more than 1 step. He was waiting for you." Justin looked around the room again. seeing it differently now. You've been busy today. I also made a proper schedule for them, Bonnie said, showing him a colorful chart on the refrigerator. Green is feeding times, blue is naps, yellow is play, purple is bath and bedtime. Justin studied the detailed schedule. This seems very specific. Babies thrive on routine. Their day should be predictable. Mine never is, Justin admitted. Maybe parts of it could be, Bonnie suggested. Like bath time, it's at 7 o'clock. You could be home for that. Justin checked his watch. That's in 30 minutes. Perfect, Bonnie said with a smile. I'll show you how to do it. Later that evening, Justin sat dripping on his bathroom floor. Both twins had splashed enthusiastically during their bath, soaking him completely. But they were clean, happy, and now dressed in fresh pajamas. That was... He searched for words. Normal, Bonnie replied. Babies splash. That's why you wear old clothes for bath time. Justin looked down at his ruined designer shirt. I'll remember that. Now comes the best part, Bonnie said, lifting Isabella. Story time. In the newly arranged nursery, Bonnie showed Justin how to hold a baby and a book at the same time. Her voice changed as she read, becoming animated and using different tones for different characters. The twins watched, fascinated. Your turn, she said, handing the book to Justin. He cleared his throat nervously. I'm not good at this. Just read. They don't care if you're good at it. They just want to hear your voice. Justin began reading stiffly, then gradually relaxed as the story continued. When he finished, both twins were drowsy. Now we put them in their cribs, wish them good night, and turn on the sound machine, Bonnie instructed. After the twins were settled, Justin and Bonnie stepped out of the nursery. You did well, she said. I felt ridiculous. But you did it anyway. That's what parenting is. Justin nodded thoughtfully. Thank you for today. For all the changes. This is just the beginning, Bonnie replied. Tomorrow we need to discuss child-proofing your entire house. Over the next few weeks, Justin's life transformed completely. The wedding scandal made headlines in Chicago society pages, but he found he didn't care. His focus was entirely on his children and the young woman who had shown him what real parenting looked like. Bonnie agreed to help temporarily, while Justin found a permanent solution. But as days turned into weeks, it became clear that no permanent solution was needed. Isabella and Alexander thrived under Bonnie's care, reaching developmental milestones they'd been delayed on and showing joy Justin had never seen before. More importantly, Bonnie began teaching Justin how to be a father. She showed him how to read the twins' different cries, how to play with them in ways that promoted their development, and how to create routines that made them feel secure. Children need consistency, she explained one evening as they gave the twins their bath. Not expensive toys or perfect environments. They need predictable love. Justin watched as Isabella reached for a rubber duck, giggling when it squeaked. I never heard her laugh before you came, he admitted. She's always been capable of joy, Bonnie replied. She just needed someone to help her find it. 3 months after the failed wedding, Justin made a decision that shocked his business associates. He restructured his entire company, promoting trusted executives to handle day-to-day operations while he focused on being present for his children. You're making a mistake, his father warned during a tense family dinner. Wellington men don't change diapers. Then maybe it's time for a new kind of Wellington man, Justin replied, not backing down. The transformation wasn't just professional. Justin sold his sterile mansion and bought a family home in Evanston with a backyard where the twins could play. He traded his sports car collection for practical vehicles. Most importantly, he began to see Bonnie not just as an employee, but as the heart of his family. Their relationship evolved slowly, built on mutual respect and their shared love for Isabella and Alexander. When Justin finally asked Bonnie to dinner without the children, she hesitated. The power dynamic is complicated, she said carefully. I work for you. Then quit, Justin suggested. I'll help you finish your graduate program. We'll figure out childcare differently. I can't abandon Isabella and Alexander, Bonnie replied. They've been through too much instability already. I'm not asking you to abandon them, Justin said. I'm asking you to become their mother. Officially. Bonnie looked at him in surprise. Marry me, Justin continued. Not for convenience or social status, but because I've fallen in love with who you are. Because you've taught me what family really means. 6 months later, they held a small ceremony in the backyard of their Evanston home. No designer gowns or hotel ballrooms. Just family and close friends watching as Justin and Bonnie promised to love and protect each other and the twins. Isabella and Alexander, now walking steadily, toddled down the short aisle dropping flower petals with more enthusiasm than accuracy. Bonnie's grandmother, who had raised her after her parents died, sat in the front row, beaming with pride. As they exchanged vows, Justin spoke about learning that love wasn't about having the most expensive wedding or the most perfect bride. It was about finding someone who would show up with kindness and patience when life got difficult. Bonnie promised to continue building their family with the same values her grandmother had taught her, that everyone deserves love, respect, and the chance to grow. 2 years later, their family had grown in ways Justin never expected. The twins spoke in full sentences, expressing personality traits that had been hidden during their early trauma. Isabella was artistic and gentle, spending hours drawing pictures of their family. Alexander was curious and energetic, always asking why about everything he encountered. Bonnie had completed her graduate degree and opened a consultation practice, helping other families navigate childcare transitions and trauma recovery. Justin had discovered that his business actually ran more efficiently when he wasn't micromanaging every detail, allowing him to be present for school events, bedtime stories, and lazy Sunday mornings. Their home was filled with children's artwork, family photos, and the comfortable chaos of a life focused on connection rather than perfection. Even Alexandra had moved on, marrying a tech billionaire in Silicon Valley and pursuing her influencer career without the complication of children. She sent birthday cards to the twins each year, signed simply Alexandra, with no hard feelings remaining. On a quiet evening, as Justin and Bonnie watched the twins play in their backyard, he reflected on how completely his life had changed. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if Isabella and Alexander hadn't cried that day? He asked. Bonnie smiled, watching their children chase fireflies in the gathering dusk. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Children have good instincts about people. You mean they were matchmaking? Justin laughed. I mean they were looking for home, Bonnie replied, and they found it. Justin pulled her closer, grateful for the crying babies who had led him to understand that the most valuable things in life couldn't be bought. They had to be built day by day with patience, love, and the courage to choose what mattered over what looked perfect. Their story became a reminder that sometimes the greatest gifts come disguised as disruptions, and that true family is created not by ceremony or social status, but by showing up with love when it's needed most. The twins, now 4 years old, had no memory of that chaotic wedding day. But they grew up knowing they were cherished by parents who had chosen each other through love rather than convenience, and who had learned that the most beautiful family moments happened not in ballrooms or hotels, but in everyday acts of care and kindness. 5 years later, as they prepared for Isabella and Alexander's first day of kindergarten, the family faced another milestone together. The twins were excited but nervous about starting school, and Bonnie had prepared them with visits to the classroom and practice runs of the morning routine. What if the other kids don't like us? Isabella worried as Bonnie braided her hair. Then they don't know how special you are yet, Bonnie replied. But I bet once they get to know you, they'll want to be your friends. What if I miss you? Alexander asked Justin as they picked out his first day outfit. I'll miss you too, Justin admitted. But you know what? I'll be right here when you come home, and you can tell me all about your day. That first day, both parents walked the twins to their classroom, taking pictures and trying not to cry as their babies took this big step toward independence. They're going to be fine, Bonnie told Justin as they watched Isabella and Alexander join circle time with their new classmates. I know, Justin replied. You taught them to be confident and kind. They're ready for this. Their story continued to ripple outward, touching lives in ways they never expected. Young fathers sought Justin's advice about parenting. Couples considering marriage talked about the importance of seeing how potential partners treated children. Bonnie's consultation practice grew, helping families across Chicago navigate challenges with patience and wisdom. But for Justin and Bonnie, it was simply their life. Not a fairy tale ending, but the ongoing work of building a family based on love, respect, and the daily choice to show up for each other. The crying babies in the hotel ballroom had indeed done the unthinkable. They had called out across social and economic barriers to find the person who would complete their family and teach them all what love really means. If you loved this incredible story of how crying babies became Cupid's arrows, absolutely smash that like button and subscribe for more amazing real-life stories that will restore your faith in love and family. Tell me in the comments below, have you ever witnessed a moment when everything fell apart but led to something beautiful? I read every single comment. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest heartwarming stories that prove sometimes the best things in life come from the most unexpected moments.